Right. Okay. Yes. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you can hear me. Right. So, did I do letter writing with you? As far as I can remember, I did not. Did I? Can someone tell me whether yes or no? Oh, I hope I didn't do. Okay. Your silence says that. Right. Okay. Right. Um, you make your name. Only this semester you will be getting the PDFs and PPTs while going through the answers and everything written by your faculty students. What I got it, you don't have basic idea what the lessons are about, right? And then you just go on writing, and people who were here, they have written well, and who just were there for like, it's okay for you to miss 2 or 3 lectures, but other than that, if you were here, then you have written well, right? I mean, not you, the other students, right? So your senior batches. So then what I noticed is giving you the PPTs at the end of the lectures won't help, and that is not allowed as well. But I do it because I know finally you don't have listened. So from next semester onwards, I'll be not giving it. So attendance is compulsory, and I mean, you should follow the lessons, right? Okay. First, I should tell that. And what I have noticed is in your question paper, you will see in the part two that you will have a lot of writings there to be done, right? And on that particular paper, you are given instructions, write, select. I mean, the first question is compulsory and select 4 other questions. So if you go through the past papers, you will see that. Select 4 other questions. Please follow the instructions. තියෙනවා කියලා හතරම ලියා හතක් තියෙනවා නම් ඒ හතම ලියන්න යන්න එපා. පළවෙනි එක compulsory කියන්නේ first one is compulsory. පළවෙනි එක compulsory. අනිත් and select 4 other questions out of the others, right? අර ඉතුරු questions වලින් හතරක් select කරලා ලියන්න තමයි කියන්නේ. අර තියෙන ඔක්කොම ලියන්න යන්න එපා. Right? So this of course I will be not giving marks. Marks දෙන්නේ නැහැ. කපලා දානවා අන්තිම දෙක. අන්තිමට ලියලා තියෙන කපලා දානවා. Right? So ඒතකොට ලකුණු score කරන්න පුළුවන් ඒවා අන්තිමට ලියලා තිබ්බොත් ඒ දෙක කැපෙනවා. Right? So එහෙම අර I did it. I mean, for this time, of course, I just gave the chance, but don't do it. Now, I have given you the instructions, so don't write all the things because it's taking much time for me. Like, check කරන්න ඕනේ. මේකේද ලක් වැඩි මේකද ඒ ඔක්කොම බල බල ඉන්න බෑනේ. දැන් අර ඒ හින්දා කපලා දානවා අන්තිම දෙක අනිවාර්යෙන් හිම තමයි කරන්න කියලා තියෙන්නේ. අර ලියන්න කියලා තියෙන්නේ 4යි 4ක් ලියන්න. ඊට වැඩි අඩුවෙන්වත් වැඩියෙන්වත් ලියන්න යන්න එපා. Right? එහෙම ලකුණු දෙන්නේ නැහැ. So that is not how we mark the papers, right? Not only for you, all the students I'm saying, right? Not only your batch, not your batch, of course, did the work. I mean, did it wrongly, but the previous batch, right? So they have written, I mean, previous in the sense they are like the calling batch එකක් තියෙනවා. I don't know, there were like 200 students for the last semester. So somehow don't do that mistakes. හොඳට instructions කියවලා paper එකට ලියන්න. Right? ඒ ඇත්තටම ලකුණු දෙන්නේ නැහැ. මොකද ඒව බල බල ඉන්න තරම් වෙලාවක් නැහැනේ. Right? So මොකද ඔක්කොම බලලා වැඩිම ලකුණු එක දෙන්න තරම් අපිට time එකක් නැහැ. Right? එහෙම time එකක් තිබ්බනම් අර ළමයි 40ක් ළමයි 40 නේ 20ක් ටිකක් ඉන්නකොට නම් එහෙම කරාට කමක් නැහැ. Right? So then the thing is you have to follow the instructions and then answer the paper. හොඳට කියවන්න. First one is compulsory කියන්නේ ඒක අනිවාර්යෙන් ලියන්න ඕනි. And select four other from the කියලා තිබ්බොත් අනිවාර්යෙන් මේ හතරක් ලියන්නේ. නම් එක දීලා තියෙනවනේ ඒ නම් එක ලියන්න. Right? Okay, so that is just an instruction that I wanted to give you because I faced a lot of problems while correcting them. Right, okay. So then back to the lesson. Back to the lesson. We'll start the lesson, of course. I hope you can see the screen. Is the screen visible? Another screen එක. So this is about writing. So you know, writing is one of the ways that we can communicate. දැන් නම් ඉතින් ඇත්තටම writing කියලා එකක් නෑ. Now we have chatting නේ. Typing and chatting. So that is the way of medium or the communication way sorry, where we communicate with each other, right? So writing is a medium of human communication that represents language and emotion through the inscription of record signs or symbols of words. දැන් මේක writing කිව්වට අපිට typing කියලාත් මේකෙන්ද writing or typing both can be used, right? So however, it's a medium of human communication. So we can communicate with each other through writing as well. And it represents language and emotion. So we know even in chatting we do that, right? And then letter writing. So now you can see this letter writing is very important. Why is it important? Because now nowadays, of course, we don't send letters, right? And we don't have time to even write a letter. Somehow we don't send it because we have very hand-on what do you call ways of sending messages, right? So like finger top ways of sending the messages. And the thing is, what you should remember is, however, still we have not, totally, what do you call, got rid of this letter writing, right? Still we have this letter writing, especially when it comes to professional, academic, and business areas. We use this letter writing. It has become an important thing. And when it comes to informal writings, like writing a letter to a friend, those things have actually declined, right? So we don't see them furthermore, like writing to a pen friend or someone, because the world is globalized through the social media and all the other online platforms. We are able to communicate with each other, who is even in another what do you call planet or somewhere, right? So you see that it has developed to that extent, and therefore writing has, the importance of letter writing has um, is being gradually decreased, right? So the other thing is now what do you call informal writings, and also when it comes to informal versus formal writings, you will know what formal and informal writings are. So formal writings, of course, still we have it because evidence is always needed, right? So to prove that we have sent you. And the other thing is you will be getting email writings, right? So email writings is also important. You might have learned in your in the last semester the email writing, right? So email writing is also important because email writing goes similar with the formal letter writing, but somehow even now we send formal letters via email, right? So that is there still. That's what I told you. Formal letter writing is still, it has its own place because it's still recognized in the fields of academic, professional, and business areas other than the informal writing, right? So somehow, what is a letter? You know what a letter is, right? So you might have written letters when you were young, yeah, because young in the sense like when you were children, you might have written letters because then these didn't exist, right? So like when grade 5 and below that, right? So then, however, you can see a letter is a typed. It can be typed or written, typed or printed communication sent in an envelope by a post or messenger. So now you can add here the email letters as well or via emails, right? So then you can see letter is a written document. It can be typed or printed. So somehow it is a written document, right? So letters can be in this way. Sorry, can you see the screen? Right, you can, right? So there is a format that should not format. Actually, there are some things that you should not use while writing letters, right? In the correct format, right? A format should be followed, whether it is formal or informal. A format should be followed, or even business letters. Then short and to the point. So you are not going to write each and everything on in letter writings, right? We have a short. I mean, make it short and write it to the point. So if it is like a informal letter writings, right? Informal can අපි ගොඩක් අපේ ළඟ කෙනෙක්ට ලියන letters වලදී it can be somewhat lengthy, right? අපි අර දැන් කලින් ඇත්තටම එහෙම ලියවෙන්නේ නැහැනේ. When we don't have information like during the 3 decades war in Sri Lanka, right? So the people did not have a way to communicate with each other, right? So then these they have to be in these jungles for several weeks, days, months, and they did not have any connection with their family members. So those days they had to write letters, maybe like 10 to 20 pages, because they had to tell each and everything in detail to their families. Right? So likewise, other than that, normally if it is formal and if it is like academic level letter writings, you make it short and it should be to the point. And relevant. Relevance is also important. Always write only what is needed to write, right? So if it is about, just imagine if you are going to talk about something that is happening in the university to the vice chancellor, right? And you wanted to, I mean, you are just against some few students who are doing that, right? But you cannot, I mean, write saying this person, and this person, the relevant names. You cannot use their names and tell these are the ones who are engaged in, right? So you have to just make it short and to the point. There are several students from higher batch who are interested, who engage in these acts, right? So like low acts or something you can say, right? And then they can investigate who are these students, and then they can, I mean, based on the who send the letter, they will do their investigations. Other than that, you cannot point out people complain about people in a very bad way. In a very bad way means you cannot use each and everything. I mean, like මොනවාද කාඩ් හරි ගිහලා අපි කම්ප්ලේන් කරන්නේ මෙන්න මෙයා තමයි මේක කරේ කියලා අර පොඩි කාලේ එහෙම කියන්නේ. අන්න ඒ වගේ අපි ලෙටර්ස් ලියන්න යන්නේ නැහැ. අපි ඒක අර ඕවර්විව් එකක් තමයි අපි ඒකේ ලියන්නේ. රයිට්? ඒ කියන්නේ ලෙටර් එකකින් අදහස් කරනවා මෙන්න මෙහෙම දෙයක් වෙනවා. ඒක ගැන හොයලා බලන්න. Right? So that is what you should try. So you just don't go on complaining about people and stuff there. That is why I told you relevant. අවශ්‍ය දේ විතරයි අපි letter එකකදී ලියන්නේ. Then free of any grammatical or spelling mistakes. Grammatical, එහෙම grammar errors, එතකොට spelling mistakes තියෙන්න බෑ. මොකද idea එක ගොඩක් වෙලාවට change වෙනවා මෙන්න මේවා වැරදුනොත්. Right? So if it is like about past incident, if you write in present, then the person might be thinking, oh, if you use future, what is this? What is the letter about? Right? Spelling mistakes, because spelling mistakes can now හිතන්න මේ කියන්න ඕනේ idea එක නෙමෙයි දෙන්නේ කියලා spelling mistakes වලින් මේ word එකෙන් word එක දැන් අපි හිතමු අපිට ලියන්න ඕනේ මොකක් හරි it is a normal word, and if we use something else and if we write like fill the word or something, then you see the meaning changes, and also it can result in uh, result a problem, right? So then polite even if you are complaining, right? Polite even if you are complaining, you cannot blame the person. You should be this situation has arisen due to these acts of these people. So please uh, investigate on this likewise, right? Then it should be well presented. So these are the things, whether it is informal, formal, business, or anything semi formal, you have to just follow these things while writing a letter, right? So letter writings can be in these types: formal letters, informal letters, semi-official letters, and business letters. මෙන්න මේ වගේ letter writing types ටිකක් තියෙනවා. We will be focusing only on formal letters and informal letters for this level, right? So we'll see. Business letters are primarily informational with no personal content. ඒකේ personally මොනවත් අපිට ලියන්නේ නැහැ. Business letters කියන්නේ sales letters, order letters, termination letters, ඒ වගේ දේවල් වල අපි ගොඩක් වෙලාවට personal content එකක් ලියවෙන්නේ නැහැ. Formal letters වල it's based on context. There may be personal content, right? So it can be both. It can be like without the formal personal stuff, and it can also have personal stuff there. For example, personal stuff තියෙන එකක් නම් letter from principal to congratulate a student who scored high marks in the exam. අනේ වගේ letter එකකදී you know that we focused on the context and the personal content, right? ඊළඟට තියෙනවා semi-official letters කියලා. Semi-official letters කියන්නේ these are the letters by the persons with same rank or position, right? Salutation will be dear Miss John, short and not quoted in official communications, right? මේක ඇත්තටම හරියටම semi-official කියන්නේ අර දෙකම දැන් colleague කෙනෙක්ට වගේ ලියනවා නම් අපිට semi-official letter එකක් ලියන්න පුළුවන්. right? ඊළඟට අපිට තියෙන informal letter එක. informal letter කියන්නේ ගොඩක්ම friendly විදිහට ලියන අපේම ළඟ කට්ටියකට, right? So a letter written in a friendly manner to our own people. I mean the closest ones. That is an informal letter, right? So this is what we are going to learn, the formal versus informal letters today, right? So we'll see the differences and we'll see what is the procedure that we should follow while writing formal letter versus informal letter. Right. So what is the main purpose of main difference between a formal letter and informal letter is their purpose, right? What is the purpose that we write the letter? Informal letter එකක් අපි මොකටද ලියන්නේ? Formal letter එකක් අපි ඇයි ලියන්නේ කියන එක තමයි අපි ඉස්සලාම difference එක විදිහට ගන්න, right? So you can see a formal letter is written for professional, official and business communication. Written in the formal language with specific format for business or official purpose. එතකොට formal letter එකක් කියන්නේ ගොඩක් වෙලාවට professional, academic, business අන්න ඒ වගේ fields වල use වෙන letter එක. Hi, hello ඒ වගේ ඒවා use වෙන්නේ නැහැ, right? Because it is formal. අපි එතන formality එක පෙන්වන්න ඕනේ හින්දා. Right? And then a letter of inquiry, a letter of request, a letter of complaint මේවා ඇවිල්ලා formal letters. Then informal letter, it has used for personal communication. Again, we can use these informal letters to talk about our personal stuff, right? So informal letters are letters we write to friends and relatives or to our close ones. There is no strict format to write an informal letter. ඇත්තටම ලොකුවට අපි strictly format එකක් බලන්නේ නැහැ informal letters වලදී. There are some things to be noticed, but not the whole thing, right? Give me a second. Unlike the formal letters, we are not going to focus mainly on the structure in informal letters. Right. So you can see there are many types of formal letters. අපි මේවා ඉගෙන ගන්නවා ඉස්සරහට, right? So cover letter, offer acceptance letter, professional thank you letter, business letter. මේවා නම් කියන offer acceptance, professional thank you letter, right? So business letter, sales letter, termination, letter of intent, letter of recommendation. මෙන්න මේ වගේ letters තමයි අපි formal letters වල ලියන්නේ. And also when it comes to university, like institutes, learning institutes, we have several formal letters that we write, right? Like, yeah, so there are several letters, so you know what type of letters now. Just imagine your university selection letter, right? And then, what else? Did you all get? I think you got the emails. No, I don't. I think both, right? So we got university selection letters, and likewise, there are several types of letters. In within the university, we have like exam, what you call the vacation, right? Study leave letters. Likewise, you have different types of letters when it comes to a university, right? And then we'll see what are the things that we should follow when writing a letter, especially a formal letter, right? So letterhead. Letterhead means the sender's address. අපි මේ letterhead එකක් අපිට සාමාන්‍යයෙන් යුනිවර්සිටි වලදී එහෙම තියෙනවා. අපේ සබරගම යුනිවර්සිටි කියලා අපි letterhead letter එකේ head එක තියෙනවා. එහෙම. right? ඒ වගේ letterheads තියෙන ඒවා තියෙනවා. But normally formal letter writing එකදී අපි letter head එක if it should be included, if not sender's address තමයි ලියන්නේ. right? Sender's address එක ලියනවා. So sender's address is usually given in the letterhead if it is from the university or some institute or something like that. If not, we write the sender's name, the address, the contact details and the date. ඒ වගේ දේවල් අපි date will be writing later. So අන්න ඒ වගේ අපි අපේ sender's address එක තමයි ලියන්නේ. So now just remember දැන් මේ format එක තමයි එකම පැත්තේ ඔක්කොම ලියන්නේ. අපි normally we follow this method. Copy, sender's address, the receiver's address, the salutation, right? Everything is written and also the closings, right? So all are written in the same sign. So that is how the letter is written now. Right, so this format changes. Actually, then we can remember sender's address was in the right and the receiver's address was in the left, and likewise there were some changes, right? So by then, but now it has brought to the certain side. I mean, the side you prefer, you write. Normally in formal letters, we see it in the left side, right? And yeah, these things are not needed because we are not going to write such letters. Date එක ඔයාලා mention කරන්න ඕනි, right? Date consists of the date, name of month, and the year. In the letter sheet, include a letterhead typo. Write the date from 2 to 3 lines under the letterhead. If not, you can write it under the return address. ඒ කියන්නේ return address එක යටතේ එහෙම නැත්නම් resume sender's address එක යටතේ Great. Right. So how I'm going to write the date? Date is in two styles. මෙහෙම ලියන්න පුළුවන්. 4 July 2012. This is the British method. ඉස්සෙල්ලාම day එක ලියලා month එක ලියලා අපි year එක ලියනවා. මේක British method එක. එතකොට July 4 2012 month එක ලියලා day එක ලියලා year එක. Right? Yeah, this is in letter writing you should not follow this. මෙන්න මේ වගේ මේ slash දාලා dots තියලා මොනවාද මේ hyphens දාලා එහෙම letters ලියන්නේ නැහැ. අපි මෙන්න මේ විදිහට තමයි formal letter writings ලියන්නේ. 4 July 2012 ඒ වගේ ලියන්නත් පුළුවන්. නැත්නම් July 4 2012, right? So this is British method, this is American method. Normally, which is followed in Sri Lanka is this. Makeup දැකලා තියෙනවා, but normally we use this, right? So that is written just after the address, right? Then we have, what is this? Inside address. Inside address කියන්නේ to whom the letter is written. ඒකට අපි කියන්නේ inside address කියලා. Inside address means it is the receiver or the recipient of the letter. letter එක receive කරන කෙනා ගැන තමයි අපි ලියන්නේ. අපි ඔන්න left side එකේ ඉස්සෙල්ලාම ලිව්වේ මොකක්ද? Sender's address. අපි sender's address එක ලිව්වා. ඊළඟට අපි මොකක්ද ලියන්නේ? අපි ඊළඟට ලියනවා date එක. ඊට පස්සේ අපි මොකක්ද ලියන්නේ? receiver ගේ address එක ලියනවා. ඒක ලියුම ලබන කෙනාගේ address එක. Right? So written on the left side beside the margin, 2 spaces below the date line. Date lining in 2 spaces below තමයි අපි sender receiver's address එක ලියන්නේ. අපිට මෙන්න මේ වගේ දේවල් use කරන්න පුළුවන්. Right? Use courtesy titles because if you are going to show the we have to give the due respect for the people who is receiving it. Mr. Mrs. Shri, SMT, Miss ඒ වගේ Professor, Doctor ඒ වගේ ඒවා use කරලා ඔයගොල්ලන්ට ලියන්න පුළුවන්. The address can also begin with a job title or department if you don't know the name. එහෙම තමයි. The Vice Chancellor, Sabaragama University of Sri Lanka. එහෙම අපි ඒ address එක ලියනවා. So if not Dr. Nalin and Department of Engineering Technology, what is her name? I can't remember the surname. Manawaduge, right? Yeah, so Dr. Nalin Manawaduge, Department of Engineering Technology, Sabaragam Faculty of you write with the job title, right? And the sales manager, the accounts department, so likewise you can write. And then salutation, right? Just after the sender's receiver's address, right? So you can write the salutation, right? Salutation කියන්නේ මොකද්ද? මෙන්න මේක. අපි ඔය dear sir, dear miss, dear sales manager ඒ වගේ use කරනවානේ අන්න ඒක තමයි salutation කියන්නේ. අපි ඒකට කියන්නේ compliment එකක්. එහෙම නැත්නම් greeting එකක් හැටියට තමයි අපි කියන්නේ. Right? It is called a complement of greeting. Two spaces below the inside address. මේ space තියෙන එක ගොඩාක්ම letter writing වල වටින දෙයක්. මම note කරපු දෙයක් තමයි students ලා ඕක කරන්නේ නැහැ. එක ගොඩේ ලියනවා. Don't do that. පොඩක් space එක තියන්න. lines ප්‍රමාණය අනිවාර්යෙන් මේ දෙකක්ද තුනක්ද එහෙම වෙන්න ඕනේ. But you should show the space. Right? Two spaces below the inside address. ඒ කියන්නේ receiver ගේ address එකට පහළින් left side එකේ ඔයාලා ලියනවා dear sir, dear madam එහෙම salutation එක. Right? It is followed by a comma or colon. Colon නම් අපි ගොඩක් වෙලාට use කරන අඩුයි. අපි සාමාන්‍යයෙන් comma එක තමයි use කරන්නේ. Right? So salutation depends on the gender, type, number, or the social status of the person addressed. Yes. So gender, type, number, දැන් අපි හිතමු students ලා ගොඩකට නම් කියන්නේ dear children. Right? ඒ වගේ. So you can see some salutations here. Dear sir, madam, dear Mr. John, salesman, dear sales manager, dear ladies and gentlemen, respected sir, dear Amit Das, dear Nancy, dear customer, right? ඒ වගේ. So if it is like to written like to someone who is very close to now, when sharing something between your colleagues, work colleagues, you just write dear and say the name, particular name, right? Okay, then you have the subject and receiver's reference numbers, right? So when writing, you see that subject is used so that the reader immediately knows what your letter is about, right? Subject එක කියන්නේ එහෙම නැත්නම් title එක කියන්නේ ඒක අනිවාර්යෙන් ලියන්න ඕනි. මොකක්ද මේ letter එක ගැන කියලා. දැන් අපි subject එක කියලා කියනවා email writing වලදී ඔයගොල්ලෝ දැකලා තියෙයි අපි subject එකක් ලියනවා. අන්න ඒක තමයි අපි that is emails are followed by this letter writing format එක තමයි email writing වලත් follow කරන්නේ, right? So you can see the subject, right? Subject එක විදිහට තමයි අපි ලියන්නේ requesting hospital facilities, right? To request hospital facilities, to request what do you call to do on-site lectures අර ඒ වගේ letters ලියන්න, right? So subject usually comes between salutation and body. Salutation එකයි body එකයි අතර තමයි අපි මොකද subject එක ලියන්නේ. එහෙම නැත්නම් අපි letter title එක කියන්නේ අන්න ඒක ලියන්නේ. letter head නෙමෙයි letter එකේ title එක කෝ කියලා අහන්නේ. අන්න ඒක තමයි අපි subject එක විදිහට කියන්නේ. The receiver's references, the receiver's previous letter number is mentioned under the heading reference. So that is not needed. Right. So those are the things. Subject එක you have to write like just after the salutation and body. Between the salutation and body. අපි සාමාන්‍යයෙන් subject title එක අපි සාමාන්‍යයෙන් මැදට කරලා තමයි ටිකක් ලියන්නේ. And then body. So then you see body එකේ it begins two spaces below the salutation. That means just after the title. Title එකට එකක් තියලා ඊළඟට තමයි අපි පටන් ගන්නෙ body එක ලියන්න. So this is the most important part of letter writing, but remember content එක ලියලා නැත්තත් ඔයාලා structure එක ලියලා තියෙනවා නම් හරියට you get marks, right? හැබැයි content එක ලියන්න නැතුව ඉන්න එපා, right? That is not totally accepted, but you should write. But it's okay if you just have only the structure followed, right? So then contains the message or the information to be communicated, right? Most important, lengthiest, prominent part written in correct, appealing, and impressive style. Right? So you have to write it properly. When it is if it is a formal letter writing, you should always focus on what should be written. Right? It should not write each and everything there. It should be to the point. It should be shortened, and it should communicate the message well and for the person to react to it or to respond to it, right? So then you normally divide the part of the body, right, in a letter writing into three: introductory paragraph, middle paragraph, and closing paragraph. Right? The problem, then in the middle you just go on in explaining it, and finally you just say, please be kind enough to settle this. Oh, thank you very much for your attention. Or like, first, go on closing it, right? So සාමාන්‍යයෙන් ගොඩාක් අපි දැන් මොනවාද? formal එක අපි ලියන්නේ introductory sentence, middle sentences and closing sentences, right? And a closing sentence. So that is how you write a letter writing. So while going through an example, you will just notice it. Complementary clause. මේකට තමයි කියන්නේ complementary clause or clausing. So you can see it is written two spaces below the last line of the body. Body එක ලියලා two spaces වගේ තියලා තමයි අපි සාමාන්‍යයෙන් closing එක ලියන්නේ, right? It is a polite way of saying goodbye, right? So you are showing the politeness there. It depends on the tone and degree of formality, right? So this is the degree of formality you should show respectfully, yours, sincerely, yours faithfully, dear Mr. Ramesh, yours truly, dear sir, right? Or someone, right? You write in that way. කොහොම හරි අපි tone එක එහෙම නැත්නම් අපේ degree of formality එක අපි කියවන තමයි අපි closing එකක් තියන්නේ, right? So then cordial yours, warm regards, best wishes, thanks and regards. මේ වගේ අපි ගොඩක් informal use කරනවා. Best regards and warm regards නේ actually best regards, thanks and regards නම් අපි email writing වල use කරනවා. That's actually like semi formal වගේ එක නිකන්. Right? So you can see that formal නම් අපි මේ විදිහට use කරනවා. Informal නම් cordial yours, warm regards, best wishes, thanks and regards. එහෙම විතරක් නෙවෙයි see you what do you call take care ඒ වගේවත් use කරනවා. Right? Informal නම්. Okay. So then you put the differences there. Okay, so here then signature and designation written double space below the complementary clause. Complementary clause එකට පය යට තමයි අපි මේ signature එකයි designation එකයි ලියන්නේ. Right? If you are the badge representative of your batch, then you say badge representative, the badge year of the batch, faculty, and then you sign it. Right? Likewise. Then that is how you place the signature and designation. It is not much important for you all, but you should remember because you will need this in future, right? Okay. Okay, so business letters are not important. මේක ඇත්තටම පේන්නේ නැහැ. මේකේ පේනවා ඇති. I'll just go through it, right? මෙතන තියෙනවා අපි senders address එක ඊළඟට space දෙකක් තියලා අපි American විදිහට මේක නම් ලියලා තියෙනවා. American style එකෙන් date එක ලියලා තියෙනවා. ඊළඟට ඔන්න receivers address එක ලියලා තියෙනවා. receivers address එකෙන් පස්සේ යටතේ අපිට තියෙනවා මේ salutation එක, right? Salutation එක යට තියෙන්න ඕනි මෙතන නැත්තේ මොකද්ද සබ්ජෙක්ට් එක. සබ්ජෙක්ට් එකෙන් පස්සේ අපිට තියෙනවා බොඩි එක. බොඩි එකෙන් පස්සේ සින්සියර්ලි තියෙනවා. ඊළඟට සයින් එක හරි මොකක් හරි තියෙනවා. right? මේ සයින් එක ඕ නම තියෙනවා. right? So then I'll just show you an example from what do you call day-to-day life. To get an idea, you should know. Received, I have any letter received. Right. Now these are the things that you should follow while writing a letter. මේ ටික බලලා මෙමු. Right. So you can see you can use these vocab, I mean the words and phrases while writing letters. Start එකකදී to inform you, to confirm, to request, to inquire about කෙනෙම use කරන්න පුළුවන්. Previous contact එකක් ගැන කතා කරන්න නම් කලින් letter එකක් කතා කරලා නම් you can say thank you for the letter of March 15. Thank you for contacting us. Thank you for letter regarding. With reference to our telephone conversation yesterday, it was a pleasure meeting you in London last month. Anneyawage, right? Both formal or informal. Then make I would like to receive. It would be helpful if you could send us. I am interested in obtaining or receiving. Please let me know what action you propose to take. Anneyawage final conclusion එකදී මේවා use කරන්න පුළුවන්. So then, if it is to offer and help, sorry, offer a help or help a person, I mean, if you are just requesting something like, would you like our company would please to, right? So if you are just willing to help, or if you are just offering a help for certain thing by a letter, you can say that you would like, would you like us to help regarding on this matter? Like, so we are quite willing to help you on this matter, right? So that is how you then giving good news. We are pleased to announce that I am delighted in inform you that You will be pleased to learn that we are pleased to announce that the seventh international conference of the Faculty of Technology is going to be held on, right? Likewise, you can finally write it. Then giving bad news, we regret to inform you that the relevant conference has been postponed due to unavoidable situations or circumstances. Then likewise, I am afraid it would not be possible to have the seminar on the particular day. Likewise, after that, after careful consideration, we have decided not to all the lectures in the with the department, right? So likewise. Then complaining, how to complain through a letter. I am writing to express my dissatisfaction with. Please note that the goods we ordered on. So you can see how polite it is being combined. This is a complaint, right? Though it is a complaint, you can see that it is done in a very polite way. We regret to inform you that our order. I would like to query about the transport charges, which seem unusually high. So these are the things that you should follow when writing, and you can use these terms, the words or the phrases while doing it. Right. So before writing one of the letters, I would like to show you another example. Right. Now we'll start writing, and I'll just show you another example. So if not, you have to just wait. Right. So you can see that first you can either choose one, two, or three, one of these questions. You can write a letter for one of these questions, right? Write a letter to the manager of a hotel to inquire about room availability for conference. So this is about a hotel writing. If you want to write about the hotel writing, you can write. Then write a letter to the editor of a local newspaper expressing concern about recent traffic congestion in your neighborhood. So it is about traffic. There you can write. Then write a letter to a potential employer expressing interest in a job vacancy advertised in a newspaper. So you can choose the most interested area of yours, and then you can start writing a formal letter. Please don't try to copy it, right? You just have to send in the chat. Okay. So I think I have almost covered all the lessons that are needed for you are needed for this semester. And yeah, basically I did so. So start on. Wait, I'll stop the share for a few seconds. Like go on writing on one of the topic, making choose color. Choose one of the topics and write a formal letter. Okay. So I taught you how the structure should be. Structure එක විදිහටම follow කරන්න. Don't try to copy paste. ඔයාලගේ words වලින් ඔයාලා දන්න විදිහට grammar වැරදුනත් කමක් නැහැ. vocabulary එක නැති වුණත් කමක් නැහැ. ඔයාලම ලියන්න. Right? You have to select one of these letters. Right? මේකේ එකක් choose කරලා ඒකට ලියන්න. Right, so I'll teach you the informal letter writing as well. Then you can go on continuing the writing. Right, so now as I told you, informal letter writing is very important. If you are just writing a letter to your closed one or friend, right? Somehow, though it is in, I mean, those days it was like a very essential way of communication. But now, of course, it has been not limited. Actually, I don't think people are writing. Maybe to the partners, maybe they just to want to write it. But I don't think for the others, actually, like to friends and all, you don't write letters by now, right? So somehow, informal letter writings or informal letters are written to someone who is very close to you, right? So you can see written to in a friendly manner to someone we are familiar with, right? Someone we are close to, someone we are related to, or someone we are familiar, sorry, familiar with, right? So then, you can see these are the things that an informal letter includes. This is the structure of an informal letter where you have an heading saying where it is the what do you call includes the date and your location, right? So that means your address. So that is what you write in the heading, right? And then you don't have the sender's address there. You just write dear. Then just after that you have the salutation. ඔයාගේ address එක ලිව්වා ඊළඟට line එකක් විතර පැනලා ඔයා salutation එක ලියනවා. Right. Dear, hi, or you can even use nicknames, anything, right? So you can, the salutation should be not started by hey, what's up, right? So you can use anything that you like, right? Then because it's written to someone who is very close to you. So if it's like a work colleague, of course, you are just maintaining the ethics there, right? But other than that, and if the work colleague is use that then body the main content of your letter, right? So usually in 2 to 3 paragraphs, and when it comes to informal letters, we see that mostly the informal letters are into someone to tell about your life, how it's going to 2 or 3 paragraphs. And if not, sometimes you just write in a simple way, right? Then you have the closing like love, best, talk soon, right? Those are the closing phrases that you use, right? And then you normally don't use the signature even in informal letters. There are instances, but you just write yours, your body, your love, like this. You just write them, right? So then this is very simple. That's that. I told that no prominence is given, and though it is considered important in writings, but we do not use this in our day-to-day lives. So, right. So, what are the instances we use this informal letter writing? For the personal communication, as I told you, with friends, with family, and the close relatives, right? And we'll see how are we using the tone, the language that we should use, or the writing style that we should follow when it comes to informal letter writing. Rather, unlike the formal letter writing, you use a conversational tone, like you are talking to the person, right? You include personal details and anecdotes, use contractions and informal language. You should not avoid slang. Slang උත් අපි use කරනවා. දැන් අපේ close best friend ට නම් අපිට slang terms use කරන්න පුළුවන් ඕන කම වගේ terms අපිට use කරන්න පුළුවන්. Keep it positive and upbeat, right? So you just with the it depends on the type of letter you write. If it is about sad news or something, then you actually you should keep it positive, but you write it about something sad, right? Then proofread for any errors before sending. So you should read it because sometimes misunderstandings might occur, whether it is your friend or someone. What you said might be understood in another way, and that friend might be what do you call angry with you, right? So there are instances like that as well. Therefore, please make sure to use conversational අපි කතා කරනවා වගේ tone එකක් use කරන්න පුළුවන්. Then personal details ඒවා අපිට anecdotes ඒවා include කරන්න පුළුවන්. Contractions, informal language, slang language උත් use කරන්න පුළුවන් if the person is very close one. Right? Then keep it positive and upbeat. Right? So මම නිමිති යාළුවෙක්ට ලියනකොට අපි ගොඩක් වෙලාවට දුක සැප දෙකම ලිව්වා. අපි අර මොනවාද? ඒක interesting විදිහට තියෙනවානේ, right? So it's like It depends on your relationship with the receiver as well. Then proofread for any errors before sending. That should be done, right? Then you can see an example here. Sector 70, Varsity in Bombay, 6th July 2013. So you can see it's here British date is followed here. So dear Maya, you can just have a comma or something here. Then thank you very much for your last letter. It was great to hear from you after saw also the photographs. I absolutely love that snap of you standing in front of the Eiffel Tower. France looks stunning. Someday I would definitely like to go there. There's not much happening here. I'm busy with my work and kids. By the way, I will be coming home anytime soon. If you are know the dates and we can arrange to meet up. Hope to see you soon, friend. Right? And this is an informal or too much in when it comes to friends, right? So you can just make it simple, conversational rather than this letter as well. Meet a very conversational විදිහට ලියන්න පුළුවන්. Make it okay, but you can use some make it more conversational tone. එහෙම නැත්නම් friendly tone එකක් තව මේකට අපිට use කරන්න පුළුවන්. Right? Okay, so then we'll just first write this letter. මේක ලියලා ඉමු. ඊළඟට I'll just show you the informal letter මේකත් ඔයගොල්ලෝ follow කරන්න. So you informal letters should be like that, right? So you can just have මේ වගේ topics මේවා බලලා ගන්න. Okay. ලියලා practice වෙන්න. Okay. Right? Right. So then also the formal letter items. So please, I should now we have time. Yeah, we have like 20 minutes. Please write it and send now. Formal letter නම් ගොඩක් ලියන්න දෙයක්වත් නැහැ. Right? So you just have to write 5 to 6 or 6 to 5 10 sentences වගේ ලියුවහම ඇති ඒත් වැඩි 10 උත් වැඩි. මේ formal letter එකේ. And then please send in the chat. Here in this letter, don't write the date මේ විදිහට ලියන්න එපා. It's okay. අපි අපේ නම් සාමාන්‍යයෙන් I have seen this is better to write using like 22nd November 2025. එහෙම ලියන්න, right? Right, good. Others also please send. Only one of you sent me the letter. What about the others? And I want to remind you of the CA that is going to happen on Monday, right? 1 to 3 p.m. onwards, 1 p.m. onwards. So I'll be sending you the guidelines by tomorrow. Don't worry. So it's like speaking CA, which is in groups, and you have to describe a picture, right? So and I'll be dividing you into the groups according to your index numbers, and we'll see. I don't know whether the time will be enough. So please be at sharp one in the faculty, right? So in the lecture hall, so I can take you quickly, right? I have received one. I'm going through it. Right, good. Yeah, others also can send if you want to. If you want, in the sense, you should write it. Aren't interested in. Right, so you see the number of students here, right? Okay, then let's wind up the lecture, right? So the writing is done, and I'll let you know if we have any other to be covered. And did we do essay writing? We did, right? We did essay writing, right? Right, okay. I'll check whether I have done essay writing. If not, all the areas that will be there for your exam is covered by now. And we'll be meeting on Monday for the CS. And if we have any other things to discuss, we will be doing that on Monday. Thank you everyone for joining, and also have a good weekend.
Recording stopped.